Hello, welcome to Beyond the Brand by Geeks For Growth, the podcast where we uncover modern marketing and design insights, strategies, and stories driving today's most successful brands. So, let's dive in and explore what's beyond the brand.
All right, so let's maybe set aside the usual Thanksgiving conversations about, turkey and football.
Right.
This year, we're going to kind of serve up something different.
Okay.
A deep dive into professional growth, specifically for our lawyer listeners.
Nice.
Think of it as a Thanksgiving side dish for career development.
I like that.
We found this really fascinating article all about how lawyers can use this time of year for, reflection and setting goals.
Interesting.
It might not be your typical holiday reading, but trust me, there's some real substance here.
Okay.
Our mission today is to pull out those really insightful pieces,
Yeah.
the actionable tips that can really help you level up in your practice.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about celebrating wins, turning challenges into opportunities, and we'll even break down a really cool Thanksgiving reflection worksheet.
All right. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so the article starts off by reminding us to celebrate our achievements,
Right.
which I think is something we could all be a little better at, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely.
And for lawyers, those achievements can be pretty significant.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Maybe you won a complex case, brought in a major new client, or even just finally figured out that new legal software.
Oh, yeah. That new software can be tricky.
That's been giving you a headache.
Yeah.
What were some of those standout moments for you this past year? Those wins where you felt like you really hit it out of the park?
Well, what's interesting here is that celebrating these wins isn't just about giving yourself a pat on the back.
Right.
It's really a powerful tool for reinforcing those positive behaviors, building confidence and, maintaining that momentum, especially when you hit those inevitable roadblocks.
Yeah, speaking of roadblocks, the article doesn't shy away from the fact that every lawyer faces challenges.
Of course.
Whether it's a particularly tough case,
Right.
a shifting legal landscape, or even just trying to juggle the demands of work and life. We've all been there.
Absolutely. Now, what I find fascinating is the article frames these challenges
Yeah.
not as failures, but as valuable learning experiences.
Oh, that's good.
By taking the time to analyze what went wrong or maybe what could have gone better, we can identify areas for improvement.
Okay.
It's all about turning those setbacks into fuel for future growth.
I like that.
Yeah.
Turning setbacks into fuel. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Thinking back on your own year, what was one of your biggest professional challenges? And what valuable lesson did you take away from it?
That's a great question. And to help you really dig into that question and others,
Yeah.
the article introduces this really helpful tool called the Thanksgiving Reflection Worksheet.
Okay, let's unpack this worksheet. Tell me more about how it works and what it's all about.
Well, it's essentially a structured way to guide your reflections. It has sections for things like milestones, achieve challenges, overcome lessons learned areas of growth, and of course, goals for the future.
It sounds pretty comprehensive, so how does it actually help lawyers turn all of this reflection into action?
Well, one of the key things is that it encourages you to set SMART goals.
SMART goals.
Yeah, that's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
So it's not just about thinking about these things in a vague sense. It's
No.
about turning them into concrete plans. Can you give an example of what a SMART goal might look like for a lawyer?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to develop expertise in a new area of law, like estate planning.
Okay.
A SMART goal might be to attend 2 relevant estate planning conferences and complete a certified online course in estate planning law by the end of Q2 next year.
Wow.
It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant to your overall career goals, and it has a defined timeline.
I can see how that kind of framework would make it much easier to actually achieve those goals. It
Yeah.
takes it from a wish list to an action plan. And the Thanksgiving timing seems particularly fitting. It's like using that natural pause in the year to kind of hit the reset button and set yourself up for success.
Yes, exactly. Thanksgiving provides that perfect opportunity to step back, reflect, and plan for the future. Think of it as a strategic timeout in your busy legal schedule. Find a quiet spot, maybe with a slice of pie, and really dive into those questions.
Yeah.
And here's a pro tip.
Okay.
You might even want to share your reflections with a trusted colleague or mentor,
Oh, interesting.
just to get an outside perspective.
Now, I know we've been focusing on the big wins and the major challenges, but what about those smaller victories, the ones that might not make headlines but still show how far you've come?
Yeah.
Like maybe you finally mastered that niche area of law you've been wanting to conquer.
Right.
Or maybe your client communication skills have become top-notch. Does the article touch on how to celebrate those smaller wins too?
Absolutely. The article emphasizes recognizing even those seemingly small victories because they're all markers of growth. And in a field as demanding as law, those small wins can add up to significant progress over time.
And I imagine those smaller wins can also help to fuel motivation, especially when facing those bigger challenges, right?
For sure.
It's like a reminder that you're constantly learning and improving even when things get tough.
You hit the nail on the head. Those smaller wins can absolutely boost your motivation and keep you going when things get tough.
Yeah.
And they all tie back to the importance of continuous learning in the legal field.
Beyond the Brand is brought to you by Geeks For Growth, a creative marketing agency that is passionate about helping small and medium-sized businesses thrive. Whether you're looking to refresh your brand, optimize your SEO, or create a marketing campaign that resonates with your audience, we've got you covered. All you have to do is visit geeksforgrowth.com so we can work together. We don't just deliver results, we help you soar to new heights. Back to the episode.
Okay, let's dive into that a bit. What does the article have to say about continuous learning for lawyers?
It stresses that staying up to date with the latest legal trends, technology, and best practices isn't just about staying competitive.
Right.
It's about providing the best possible service to your clients. It's about being at the top of your game.
So it's not just about keeping up with changes in the law itself, but also about how technology is impacting the practice of law.
Exactly. Technology is changing the legal landscape faster than ever before.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Think about things like AI-powered legal research tools, online dispute resolution platforms,
Wow.
and even the rise of virtual law firms.
Incredible.
Staying ahead of the curve means embracing these tools and using them to enhance your practice and better serve your clients.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I know we've been talking a lot about achievements and challenges,
Right.
but there's another key theme woven throughout the article that I want to touch on.
Okay.
And it feels particularly relevant to Thanksgiving,
Right.
gratitude.
You're right. It does feel very fitting for this time of year.
Yeah.
And in a professional context, gratitude isn't just about saying thank you.
Right.
It's about recognizing the value of our experiences, both good and bad.
It's like that saying, every experience, good or bad, is a valuable lesson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by reflecting on those lessons with a grateful heart, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves,
Okay.
our strengths,
Yeah.
and the areas where we still have room to grow.
The article even suggests taking a moment to appreciate the people who have supported us along the way.
Yes.
Mentors, colleagues, maybe even those challenging clients who pushed us to become better lawyers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's incredibly important. Think about it. Who are the people who have had a positive impact on your professional journey this past year?
That's a good question.
A mentor who offered guidance,
Mm,
a colleague who helped you through a tough case,
right.
a client who challenged you to think differently.
Yeah,
This is a perfect time to acknowledge their contributions and express your gratitude.
definitely.
It's not just good manners. It's about building and strengthening those relationships
Right.
that are so vital to success in any field, especially law.
I love that. It's like weaving gratitude into the fabric of our professional lives. And speaking of gratitude,
Yeah.
I think we should probably give a shout out to the authors of this article for giving us so much food for thought.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great reminder that professional development isn't just about attending conferences and reading legal journals.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about taking the time for introspection,
Right.
for celebrating our wins, learning from our challenges, and setting ourselves up for success in the future. And what better time to do that than during this season of reflection and gratitude?
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the benefits of reflection and gratitude.
Right.
But what about looking ahead? The article also talks about setting future goals, right?
Yes, and that's where those SMART goals and the Thanksgiving reflection worksheet really come into play.
Okay.
Think about what you want to achieve in the coming year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want to expand your client base, take on more leadership roles within your firm,
Right.
or become a sought-after speaker at legal conferences.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Whatever your aspirations are, now is the time to turn those aspirations into concrete goals.
So how would someone go about setting those goals? Does the article offer any guidance on that?
It certainly does. The article emphasizes the importance of setting specific and actionable goals.
Okay.
For example, instead of just saying, I want to grow my client base,
Right.
you might set a goal to increase client referrals by 20%, over the next year. Or instead of, I want to be a better leader, you might set a goal to complete a leadership training program and actively mentor at least one junior associate within the firm.
Those are great examples. It's about turning those general aspirations into clear, measurable objectives.
Exactly.
And I imagine the Thanksgiving reflection worksheet can be a really helpful tool for working through that process.
Absolutely. The worksheet prompts you to think about your past achievements, the challenges you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned, which provides a great foundation for setting future goals that are aligned with your values, strengths, and areas for growth.
Right.
It's all about connecting the dots between your past experiences and your future aspirations.
So as we head into this Thanksgiving season, what's the key takeaway you'd like our listeners to ponder?
I'd say this.
Okay.
Take some time to reflect on your professional journey, both the highs and the lows. Use those reflections as a springboard to set some ambitious yet achievable goals for the year ahead.
Okay.
And don't forget to cultivate an attitude of gratitude.
I love that. So it's about reflection, goal setting, and gratitude.
Yes.
That sounds like a pretty powerful recipe for professional growth. And I have to say, this whole conversation has really got me thinking about my own professional journey.
Oh, that's great.
I think I'm going to need to download that Thanksgiving reflection worksheet and spend some time with it this week.
I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic tool, and there's no better time than now to dive in.
It's funny, we often think of Thanksgiving as a time to reflect on our personal lives, our families, and the things we're grateful for in that realm.
Yeah.
But this conversation has really highlighted the value of applying that same reflective mindset to our professional lives.
I couldn't agree more. And what's particularly insightful about this approach is that it connects professional growth with a sense of gratitude.
Right.
It's not just about striving for more, but also about appreciating how far we've come and the lessons we've learned along the way. It's about recognizing that even the challenges we faced have contributed to our growth and made us the lawyers we are today.
And that seems like a really healthy perspective to have,
Yeah.
especially in a profession that can be so demanding and often high pressure.
For sure. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Exactly. And that's why taking these intentional pauses for reflection is so crucial.
Right.
It allows us to step back, gain some perspective, and reconnect with our purpose and our passions.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
We've talked about celebrating achievements, reframing challenges as opportunities for growth, and using the Thanksgiving reflection worksheet as a tool to guide our reflections and set actionable goals.
Right.
I'm feeling pretty inspired. How about you?
Absolutely.
Oh?
And, as we gather with loved ones this Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
I'd like to leave our listeners with this thought.
Okay.
Consider how gratitude for your past experiences, both the triumphs and the challenges,
Right.
can actually fuel your future success in your legal career. It's about harnessing the power of gratitude to propel you forward.
I love that. It's like turning gratitude into a driving force for professional growth. And to help our listeners continue this journey of reflection,
Yeah?
we'll be sure to include a link to download that Thanksgiving reflection worksheet in the show notes.
Perfect.
It's a great tool to keep those insights flowing even after the last slice of pie is gone.
It's a fantastic resource. I encourage everyone to check it out.
Well, on that note, I think we've served up a pretty hearty portion of professional development insights for our listeners today.
Indeed, we have.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And may this season of gratitude inspire you to reach new heights in your legal careers.
Thanks for tuning in to Beyond the Brand by Geeks for Growth. We hope today's episode gave you fresh insights and practical tools to elevate your brand. Do you need help with reaching your audience, websites or graphic design, email marketing, social media management, and other marketing services? Visit geeksforgrowth.com so we can help you drive growth for your business. Remember, every brand has a story. Let's keep exploring it together. For more resources, visit us at geeksforgrowth.com. Until next time.